Brothers and sisters, the message of our readings this Sunday will surely strike a chord in our hearts. In our gospel, Jesus talks about the ways to resolve conflicts and to restore peace in our relationships with one another. And by listing several steps to resolve conflicts, to restore relationships, Jesus is telling us that conflicts, misunderstandings, disputes, and quarrels are part of human life and human relationships. Bahagi talaga ng buhay na may hindi pagkakaunawaan, na nagkakatampuhan, hindi nagkakasundo, at nagkakaroon ng gusot ang ating mga ugnayan sa bawat isa. Because if you think that all people will always be good to you, if you think that there will be no one who will oppose you, then you are living in a dream world. Kahibangan yan. Yung akalain mo na lahat ng tao magiging mabait sa akin, lahat ng tao makakasundo ko, walang akong makakaaway, o lahat ng tao maniniwala sa sinasabi ko. Naku, kung ganyan ang ating paniniwala, we will end up disappointed and discouraged. Because we do not live in a perfect world. And there are no perfect relationships. And we are not a perfect people. Yung mga mag-asawa po, I'm sure you realize, maybe even the day after your wedding, that you did not marry Mr. Right or Miss Perfect. Yung asawa ninyo hindi perfect. Mga magulang, ang inyo pong mga anak ay hindi perfect. Mga anak, ang ating mga magulang ay hindi perfect. Ang mga kasamahan ninyo sa trabaho, mga kaeskwela, mga kaibigan, hindi perfect. At kahit kaming mga pari, hindi po kami perfect. And so there will always be conflicts. There will always be clashes of personalities. There will always be differences in opinions, in principles. There will always be misunderstandings and quarrels. And we have to live with them. Tanggapin natin na bahagi yan ng ating buhay. But by listing ways to resolve conflicts, Jesus is not only telling us conflicts are not alien to your life, and so live with them. By listing down ways to resolve conflicts, Jesus is also telling us, live with them, but also deal with them. And we deal with conflicts in our life in a Christian way. Kaya pinapaliwanag ni Jesus, ano ang dapat nating gawin kapag nagkaroon ng gusot sa ating mga ugnayan. Dahil sinasabi ni Jesus, nangyayari talaga yan. Pero may magagawa kayo dyan. At gagawin ninyo yan sa pamamagitan ng Kristiyanong pamamaraan. The Christian way of dealing with opponents. The Christian way of resolving conflicts, and the Christian way of restoring relationships. What is the Christian way? Jesus says, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. Take note of what Jesus said, my dear brothers and sisters. He did not say, if your brother sins against you, wait for him to go to you and ask for an apology. Sabi ni Jesus, kung may nagawa na hindi tama sa iyo ang kapatid mo, puntahan mo at kausapin mo. Madalas po kasi kapag may nagawang masama sa atin ng ating kapwa, sasabihin natin, bakit ako ang lalapit sa kanya? Siya ang nagkamali, siya ang unang lumapit. Bakit ako ang unang papansin sa kanya? Siya ang nakagawa ng masama, siya ang magmakaawa. Bakit ako ang lalapit? Siya ang unang mag-sorry at aminin niya ang kanyang nagawa. When we start to do that, Jesus is telling us that is not the Christian way. What is the Christian way? If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. Who initiates the process of reconciliation? The one offended. Ako ang nasaktan. Ako ang nagawa ng mali. Ako ang unang lalapit. That is the Christian way. Ang hirap, ano po? Tahimik na tahimik kayo eh. No? And Jesus even said, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. Kayong dalawa lang. Kapag may nagawa siyang masama, kayong dalawa lang ang mag-usap. Kadalasan kasi kapag may nagawang mali ang ating kapatid, sa halip na siya ang una nating kausapin, ikakalat natin sa lahat. Ikukwento natin sa lahat. Alam mo ba ang ginawa niyan sa akin? At humahanap tayo ng kakampi para sabihin natin, o tingnan mo, mali talaga siya. Ako talaga ang tama. And in this age of social media, we even post our conflicts online. Nag-aaway online. Kapag masama ang loob sa kapwa, paparinggan sa Facebook. For all the world to see and for all the world to know. That is not the Christian way. If your brother sins against you, Jesus says, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. Kayong dalawa lang. Walang ibang makakaalam. Pag-usapan natin itong dalawa. At kadalasan naman, pag pinag-usapan na, naaayos na. Bakit lumalala? Kasi alam na ng buong barangay, pero yung taong involved, wala pang kaalam-alam. Between you and him alone. That is the Christian way. And Jesus even specifies the reason for doing this. Why are you going to go to your brother? Why are you going to talk to him? And the only reason is to restore that brother back, to resolve our conflicts with that brother. Take note, my dear brothers and sisters, that Jesus uses the word brother, kapatid. Kapag ang kapatid mo ay may nagawang hindi tama sa'yo, puntahan mo. Hindi sinabi ni Jesus na kung yung isang tao, o yung kaaway mo, o yung hindi mo kasundo, sabi ni Jesus, if your brother. And so that person, even if he or she has done something wrong, remains a brother and a sister. And because he is a brother, she is a sister, I will initiate this process of reconciling, of reconciliation, of bringing the person back. That is why in our first reading today, the Lord, through the prophet Ezekiel, says, you son of man, I have appointed as watchman for the house of Israel. And when you hear me say anything, you shall warn them for me. You are responsible to your brothers and sisters. And so you have to tell them whenever they are doing something wrong in order to save them. It is for their own good. And St. Paul, in our second reading, says, owe nothing to anyone except to love one another. And love does no evil to the neighbor. If I am to go and talk to that brother or sister who had offended me, then my only motivation is love. I will not talk to him to prove that I am right and he is wrong. Minsan kasi gano'n, sige na nga, kakausapin ko. Pero gusto lang natin kausapin para patunayan na mali ka talaga, ako talaga ang tama. Sometimes we talk to the person to show that you are guilty and I am innocent. At kapag gano'n ang nangyari, mas lalong lumalala ang away at samaan ng loob. That is not the Christian way. But when we go to our brother or sister who has offended us, out of love, because we want to win that brother or sister back, because we want to restore our relationship with him or with her, then that is the Christian way. 2 weeks ago, I shared with you about the couple who celebrated their golden wedding anniversary and invited me to preside over the Thanksgiving Mass and renewal of their wedding vows. Yung kinuwento ko sa inyo, sabi ko, tinanong ko sila, paano nyo bang napili ang isa't isa? Pero marami pa akong tinanong. At isa sa mga tinanong ko ay, paano ho ba kayo tumagal ng 50 years? Yung po bang 50 years na yon ay very easy? Were there no problems in the relationship? Mabait po ba kayong dalawa sa isa't isa, kaya kayo tumagal na magkasama? At nanglaki ang kanilang mata. Nakatingin sa akin. Sabi nila, no, Father. Especially the first years, they were very bumpy. Akala namin hindi na kami tatagal. At akala namin maghihiwalay na kami. But at one point, they said, we agreed to disagree. Sabi namin sa isa't isa, magkaibang tao tayo. Talagang marami tayong hindi mapagkakasunduan. Kaya okay lang. Sige, magtalo tayo sa maraming bagay. Let us agree to disagree. But they said, but we also agreed that separation is never an option. Kapag nag-away tayo, kapag meron tayong hindi napagkasunduan, mag-uusap tayo. Pero pag pinag-usapan natin, ang ating solusyon ay palaging paano natin patitibayin ang ating relationship. Separation was never an option. Because they said, broken things are fixed, not thrown away. Sabi ko, iba naman po yung things. Sa panahon po ngayon, broken things, so it's better for you to throw them away and just replace them easily. Mas mahirap ay ipakumpunin mo, ipagawa mo, kaysa bumili ka na lang ng bago. Sabi nila, piloso ko ka, Father. But people and relationships are not things, sabi nila. And so broken relationships are fixed. They are not thrown away. My dear brothers and sisters, next time you will have a conflict with another person, o baka ngayon pa lang po, meron ng mga taong hindi natin kasundo o kaaway natin, that's okay. That's okay. But please do not leave it that way. Deal with it in a Christian way.